Hidden behind layers of royal secrecy lies a mansion unlike anything the world has ever seen, an architectural masterpiece valued at $1.5 billion and owned by Saudi Arabia's crown prince. From underwater meditation chambers to gold leaf fountains and entire wings built for futuristic living, this residence reveals a vision far beyond luxury. Stay until the end, because we'll uncover the one feature inside this estate that even global billionaires have never been allowed to replicate: the $1.5 billion real estate empire. Long before the world learned the price tag, whispers in diplomatic circles spoke of a royal portfolio so vast that even seasoned real estate brokers struggled to calculate its scale. At the center of those whispers was Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, whose collection of residences scattered across Europe, the United States and Saudi Arabia was eventually valued at $1.5 billion. But this was not simply wealth displayed in marble and gold. It was a blueprint of influence, meticulously designed to mirror the transformation he envisioned for the kingdom itself. The empire begins with geography, strategically chosen locations that each carry symbolic weight. A French chateau near Paris to anchor Saudi presence in Europe's cultural capital, a penthouse in Manhattan towering above the world's financial nerve center, and palaces across Riyadh, Diriyah, and Neom that bind modern ambition to heritage. Every property functions like a chapter in a narrative of power, stretching from old-world aristocracy to futuristic metropolis. Even the architectural choices reveal intention. In Europe, where royalty once defined luxury, MBS invested in estates built with 17th century French craftsmanship, but enhanced with climate-controlled galleries, underwater chambers and smart glass infrastructure costing millions. In New York, he chose a residence perched nearly 1,400 feet above the city, an entire floor designed with floor-to-ceiling windows, custom stone imported from Italy, and interiors valued between $80 and $100 million. These are not purchases, they are statements, quiet affirmations that Saudi leadership can stand shoulder to shoulder with the world's most influential elite. Inside Saudi Arabia, the narrative changes shape. Properties like Yamama Palace and Alawia Palace embrace traditional Najdi designs, mud brick patterns, palm-shaded courtyards, carved wooden doors. Meanwhile, the Neom Palace, part of the kingdom's $2 trillion megaproject, is engineered with AI-driven climate systems, solar-cooled walkways, and a private marina designed for diplomatic arrivals. If the European estates symbolize legacy, the Saudi palaces symbolize progression, bridging national identity with the future MBS is building. What makes this portfolio extraordinary is not just its value, but its coherence. Each residence serves a distinct strategic role. Some function as diplomatic theaters for hosting dignitaries, others are private retreats designed for reflection or negotiation, and a few, hidden behind advanced security perimeters, operate as hubs where long-term national projects are quietly shaped. In a world where many billionaires collect properties as status symbols, MBS uses them as instruments of vision. The result is a real estate empire that tells a story about more than wealth. It reveals how Mohammed bin Salman positions himself globally, part statesman, part modernizer, part cultural guardian. His $1.5 billion collection captures the tension between heritage and progress, between old kingdoms and new cities rising from desert sand. And now I want to hear from you. Which of these properties best represents the future MBS is trying to build? Comment below. Chateau Louis XIV's most extravagant modern castle. From the outside, Chateau Louis XIV looks like a relic of France's Bourbon dynasty, a palace that might have hosted kings, diplomats and court musicians centuries ago. But step closer and the illusion fractures. This chateau, purchased for $31 million by Mohammed bin Salman in 2015, is not a preserved monument from the 1600s. It is a modern creation disguised as a royal masterpiece, built from the ground up to merge European aristocratic grandeur with 21st century engineering. The estate sits on 57 acres of pristine land near Paris, a scale comparable to the private domains of historical monarchs. At its center stands a 57,000 square foot palace designed by architect Imad Khashoggi, whose family name itself carries a long history within Middle Eastern elite circles. Khashoggi's mandate was precise: construct a residence that would appear untouched by time, yet operate with the precision of a technologically advanced fortress. He achieved this by blending hand-carved stone facades with steel-reinforced foundations capable of supporting vast halls and hidden infrastructure. Inside, every detail has been engineered for impact. The entrance alone features gold leaf fountains modeled after Versailles' iconic water displays, each one coated with enough 24-karat gold to push renovation costs into the multi-million-dollar range. Beyond them, a sequence of gilded doors opens into a corridor lined with crystal chandeliers, each valued between $50,000 and $100,000, suspended beneath fresco ceilings, painted using techniques that mimic the Italian masters. The palace contains two extraordinary ballrooms, but one stands apart. Its ceiling crowned by a 52-foot dome, meticulously engineered so natural light sweeps across the curved frescoes at specific angles throughout the day. The effect is theatrical, intentional, and unmistakably royal. This single dome required custom steelwork and specialty artisans, driving its construction cost into the millions. Yet opulence is only the surface. Hidden beneath the chateau is a suite of modern indulgences few French kings could have imagined. A 3,000-bottle wine cellar, temperature-controlled, humidity-stabilized, and fitted with biometric access, holds a collection capable of exceeding several $1 million in value. Nearby, a private cinema equipped with acoustics matching elite Parisian theaters offers the prince a secluded screening environment. There is even a subterranean underwater meditation room, enclosed in glass panels thick enough to withstand enormous pressure and costing hundreds of thousands of dollars to fabricate. Technology flows through the estate as invisibly as air. Smart home systems regulate everything from lighting to climate, routing through a network concealed within the chateau's walls. Indoor and outdoor swimming pools pump heated water through systems valued at millions, maintaining perfect temperature regardless of season. Security, though never publicly detailed, is believed to rival high-level diplomatic residences. Chateau Louis XIV is not merely a home, it is a performance, a deliberate fusion of Saudi royal ambition and European aristocratic symbolism, built to project a timeless kind of power while quietly operating on the infrastructure of a modern technological marvel. 432 Park Avenue, the billionaire's nest above New York. High above Manhattan's relentless noise, at an altitude where the city dissolves into a grid of lights, sits a residence unlike anything else in the Western Hemisphere. On the 96th floor of 432 Park Avenue, Mohammed bin Salman owns an entire penthouse spanning 8,255 square feet, suspended 1,396 feet above the ground. At that height, the wind pressure alone demands structural solutions costing millions, yet the result is a floating sanctuary where the walls are mostly glass and the skyline becomes an extension of the interior. And the penthouse's floor-to-ceiling windows, each a 10 by 10 foot square, were engineered to withstand hurricane-force winds while maintaining perfect temperature balance. Every panel cost tens of thousands of dollars, contributing to a facade that transforms the unit into a panoramic observatory. From sunrise over the Atlantic to twilight casting shadows across Central Park, the residence offers a view once reserved for aircraft and skyscraper architects. Even among New York's ultra-luxury real estate, such visual command is exceptionally rare. Stepping inside reveals a design philosophy distinct from the ornate European opulence seen in MBS's French estate. The penthouse is carved around minimalist Japanese aesthetics, with custom white oak flooring imported from Kyoto workshops, materials whose installation alone exceeded hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 6 ensuite bedrooms are structured like private retreats, each equipped with its own marble bathroom sourced from stone quarries in Italy and Spain, some slabs valued at $20,000 apiece due to their rarity. The primary suite is the penthouse's quietest and most secluded corner, capturing 3 exposures, north, east and west. Dual bathrooms mirror one another in polished stone, featuring deep-soaking tubs carved from single marble blocks. Adjacent, oversized dressing rooms function as personalized galleries, with climate-controlled cabinetry often reserved for museums and high-end boutiques, each custom build costing more than $50,000 per room. But what lies beyond the penthouse's private walls elevates it into the realm of global elite residential engineering. Residents of 432 Park Avenue gain access to a 75-foot indoor pool, maintained with filtration systems valued at over $1 million. A private restaurant run exclusively for owners offers tasting menus that rotate with the seasons, while a residents-only spa provides treatments normally limited to five-star hotels. An exclusive elevator system, isolated from the building's primary infrastructure, guarantees that high-profile occupants travel with anonymity and security. Located on Billionaire's Row, where similar penthouses sell between $80 and $100 million, this residence functions not merely as living space, but as a strategic anchor point in one of the world's most influential cities. For Mohammed bin Salman, the penthouse offers a vantage point over global finance, diplomacy and culture, an elevated command post where Manhattan stretches outward like a living map of opportunity. Here, luxury does not shout, it observes. The silence, the height, the views, each element shapes a portrait of power expressed not through gold or grandeur, but through perspective itself. The Neom Palace, a futuristic desert fortress. In the heart of Saudi Arabia's northwest desert, where heat shimmers across endless stretches of sand, rises a structure that seems almost impossible. An architectural apparition where futurism, royal authority, and environmental engineering converge. This is the Neom Palace, a private stronghold within the kingdom's unprecedented $2 trillion Neom megacity, a project designed to redefine how humans live, govern and interact with the natural world. Unlike traditional palaces built to preserve history, this one is built to anticipate the future. From an aerial view, the palace resembles a fortified oasis, anchored by a central complex shaped with precision geometry that mirrors ancient Middle Eastern patterns. Yet its materials are unmistakably modern. Heat-reflective stone composites imported from Europe, glass engineered to withstand sandstorms, and structural frames capable of supporting climate-controlled halls that span hundreds of feet in every direction. Construction insiders estimated that the palace alone consumed hundreds of millions of dollars in advanced materials and experimental building systems. Surrounding the palace is an infrastructure network few residences in the world can rival. A fleet of 10 helipads, each capable of receiving heavy-lift helicopters valued at $20 million, forms the palace's aerial gateway. To the west lies a private marina carved into the Red Sea, where royal vessels dock beside coral preservation zones monitored by marine biologists. The marina itself required dredging operations and hydrological modeling that reportedly exceeded $50 million, ensuring that water flow and marine life remain stable despite the construction. Water in this desert becomes a kind of luxury architecture. The palace features a man-made lake cooled by underground geothermal exchangers that reduce surface temperatures by up to 10 degrees, an operation so complex it required a custom pipeline network stretching miles beneath the desert crust. The surrounding gardens, spanning acres, are maintained by an AI-controlled irrigation system that analyzes humidity, plant species and soil health in real time. These gardens are not decorative. They are engineered ecosystems shaped by datasets rather than gardeners. Just beyond the palace perimeter, a full championship-level golf course stretches across emerald terrain impossible to imagine in a desert climate. Its turf is maintained through desalinated water from the Red Sea, pumped through energy-efficient systems connected to Neom's renewable grid. Each fairway is sculpted with millimeter-precision topography using mapping drones and laser leveling tools valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars. Even the bunkers filled with silica sand imported from Australia reflect a commitment to luxury as a technical discipline. Inside the palace, smart environment systems maintain microclimates tailored to different wings. Diplomatic halls stay cool through predictive airflow modeling. Private chambers shift humidity and temperature automatically as the day changes. Walls embed fiber optic veins linking the palace to Neom's larger digital nervous system, allowing it to operate almost like a sovereign node within a futuristic city. This is not merely a residence for Mohammed bin Salman, it is a command center. Strategically positioned near the borders of Saudi Arabia, Egypt and Jordan, where development plans, diplomatic meetings and long-term visions for the region take shape. In many ways, the Neom Palace is the architectural embodiment of the Crown Prince's ambition, a place where sand meets steel, tradition meets innovation, and the future begins to take physical form in the desert. Yamama, Alawia and Murabba, the triad of Saudi heritage. In the center of Riyadh, surrounded by manicured grounds and fortified walls, stands Yamama Palace, a structure so vast it eclipses the Pentagon in scale. Spanning 4 million square feet, it functions as both a royal residence and the nation's administrative heart. Built in 1983, its foundations are carved from reinforced concrete, engineered to support more than 1,000 rooms, each designed for a different layer of governance, from ministerial councils to ceremonial receptions. Inside, the corridors stretch beneath ceilings carved with intricate arabesque patterns, while floors gleam with slabs of Italian marble sourced from quarries that supply Europe's most prestigious monuments. Some rooms contain chandeliers valued at over $100,000, illuminating halls where state decisions are shaped. If Yamama is the kingdom's polished face to the world, the desert outskirts of Diriyah reveal something more intimate. Here lies Alawia Palace, positioned on the private farm of King Salman. Unlike the monumental scale of Riyadh's official residence, Alawia reflects the quiet rhythm of Najdi tradition. Earth-toned mud brick walls, formed using techniques passed down through generations, outline courtyards shaded by towering palm groves. Wooden doors carved with geometric motifs guard the entrances, their craftsmanship often costing tens of thousands of dollars due to handwork by master artisans. Inside the Majlis rooms, spaces for receiving guests, are lined with woven textiles and low seating that echo Bedouin hospitality. The palace operates not as a showcase of wealth, but as a bridge to the kingdom's ancestral past, offering a setting where diplomacy adopts a softer, more personal tone. Further into historic Riyadh stands a property that predates both palaces. The legendary Murabba Palace, constructed in 1938 by King Abdul Aziz, the founder of modern Saudi Arabia. Unlike the polished marble of later royal architecture, Murabba embraces the simplicity of Najdi adobe construction, with thick mud brick walls designed to insulate against the desert's extremes. Its ceilings, supported by palm fronds and wooden beams, create a texture that feels more like a preserved artifact than a modern residence. Inside its 32 rooms, visitors find an intimate museum of Saudi history. Rifles from early unification campaigns, handwritten letters, ceremonial garments, and early photographs documenting the kingdom's rapid transformation. While its materials may appear modest, historians estimate that restoring and preserving Murabba to its original condition required millions of dollars, a testament to its cultural value. Together, Yamama, Alawia and Murabba form a triad of heritage, three architectural narratives that anchor Mohammed bin Salman to a lineage stretching from the founding of the kingdom to its current ascent on the global stage. They reveal a continuum of Saudi identity, the grandeur of formal power, the warmth of tradition, and the preserved memory of a nation's beginnings. The meaning behind the mansions: wealth, power and vision. For most people, a home is a refuge. For Mohammed bin Salman, each residence in his $1.5 billion portfolio functions like a chapter in a strategic manifesto, one written not with ink but with architecture, geography and purpose. Viewed from the outside, they may appear as isolated displays of royal wealth, but seen together, they reveal a blueprint of how a modern kingdom redefines power in the 21st century. Chateau Louis XIV near Paris is more than European extravagance. It signals a deliberate cultural bridge. When a Saudi crown prince acquires a $31 million neo-Baroque palace infused with underwater meditation rooms, Versailles-inspired fountains and multi-million-dollar fresco ceilings, he is not simply purchasing luxury. He is inserting Saudi presence into the heart of Western aristocratic tradition, turning European history into a stage upon which Saudi influence now quietly rests. In New York, the 432 Park Avenue Penthouse becomes something different, a surveillance point over global finance. Floating 1,396 feet above Manhattan, the 8,255 square foot residence worth $80 to $100 million positions MBS not as a distant ruler, but as a stakeholder watching over the world's most powerful economic engine. Its minimalist interiors and floor-to-ceiling glass are a contrast to the opulence of Paris, showing that influence adapts to the environment it seeks to shape. Then the narrative shifts dramatically with the Neom Palace, a futuristic fortress built within a $2 trillion megaproject. Here, ambition becomes infrastructure. The palace's 10 helipads, AI-regulated gardens, Red Sea marina and geothermal cooled lake are not luxuries. They are symbols of a nation attempting to leap generations ahead of the global curve. It is a residence engineered for strategy, negotiation and long-horizon planning, operating as a desert command center for a kingdom reinventing itself. But power is incomplete without memory and cultural grounding. That role belongs to Yamama, Alawia and Murabba, each palace reinforcing a different facet of Saudi heritage. Yamama's 4 million square foot footprint reflects institutional authority. Alawiya's mud brick courtyards echo Najdi authenticity. Murabba's preserved adobe walls connect the Crown Prince to King Abdulaziz's original vision. Their combined value, spanning historical preservation and modern restoration costing millions of dollars, anchors a rapidly modernizing ruler to the foundations of the nation he represents. Taken together, these mansions reveal a carefully balanced identity: a futurist building cities from scratch, a strategist observing global powers, a cultural guardian preserving ancestral memory, and a modern ruler projecting Saudi Arabia onto the world stage. Now the question becomes yours. Which of these identities do you believe will define his legacy? Comment below. Prince Mohammed bin Salman's mansion is more than an extravagant palace. It is a blueprint for how modern power presents itself in the 21st century. Through this journey, we learn that true luxury is not measured in gold, but in vision, reflected in how his properties fuse technology with tradition. We also discovered that real estate can serve as a form of diplomacy, shaping how nations perceive authority and ambition. And perhaps the most striking lesson is how architecture becomes strategy, designed not only for comfort, but for influence, sustainability, and global relevance. If this exploration into the world's most expensive royal residence fascinated you, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode, and stay tuned for part 2, where we uncover the secret expansions, private islands and hidden royal retreats that complete Prince Salman's extraordinary empire.